All right, BlackTree TV, it is election year, and we are here for the world premiere of the campaign right here at Chinese Grauman Theater. We're not selecting between Obama and Romney this time. This year's election is between Zach Galifianakis and Will Ferrell. So who do you think is funniest? Well, you gotta check it out, the movie on August 10th, and you'll check out the interviews right here on BlackTree TV. All right, we're here with P.J.Byrne. You had a big, like 365 days. It's been like Horrible Bosses, Final Destination. You just popped out of it.
I'm doing it for you. And
we appreciate
the campaign, so one day hopefully I'm going to be a politician and run for president. 2042.
How fun was it to play in this movie where it's so close to real life?
Well, you know, oddly enough, I grew up in a political family, so as a kid I sort of had this front row seat to this world, and to actually be a part of it and play it and sort of make fun of it, you know, and anything that felt wrong and inappropriate me doing the movie, I was like, I'm going to do that. Because we kind of live in a crazier world now, and politics is unafraid to rip their opponents down, where a lot of money is coming from places you have no idea, like billionaires, like funding, you know, ads. So it's a crazy world we're living in right now.
I was really surprised that the movie took such a realistic tone. We're talking about Citizens United, campaign finance, the Diabo voting machines, the Koch brothers. I mean, y'all really touched on issues that we as an electorate are dealing with today.
Yeah, and I think that's important. I think, you know, another thing, you know, they want to sort of comment on is that, like, in Washington there's not a lot of compromise. And compromise has sort of become a four-letter word, and nothing is getting done as it should. Sort of back in the Reagan days and the Tip O'Neill days, where, like, yes, they do different, you know, values, but they would still make things happen. And unfortunately that's not happening now, but obviously, you know, the Americans are going to wake up. That's what, once you make fun of something, it's time for change. So hopefully this will start happening shortly.
You kind of played a Steve Schmidt, Karl Rove type of character in this.
Right, that's right.
Did you watch a lot of political news and everything to get kind of up to speed?
Not really. I mean, I've watched it over the years, but certainly I just kind of made this guy up. I knew what he had to do. He'd go in there and clean up the mess of Marty Huggins. So that's exactly what he did.
We're here with super executive producer, the guy you might remember from some other Will Ferrell movies, Mr. Chris Henchy.
Oh, yeah.
And this movie, I mean, it's a little risky. You think both sides of the aisle are going to enjoy the way y'all poke fun at the political process?
Yeah, I'd like to think we were very fair about hitting both sides. And the movie was never about a partisan or policy. It was more about the process. So I think, you know, everybody will see something of themselves. Or, you know what, I think more importantly, people will see the other side, that we're making fun of the other side, and probably not as aware that we're making fun of them as well.
Hey, BlackTree TV, got a special pleasure. We're here with the writer of this great movie, Mr. Shawn Harwell. And I mean, I look at the movie, I see Will Ferrell, Zach Galifianakis. I'm like, oh, this is going to be just a hilarious blast. But it was actually very poignant about what's going on in our political culture right now. You talked about Citizens United, campaign finance reform, the Koch brothers, the Diabo voting machines. I mean, you was on point about that.
We just all thought it was really hilarious that these things are happening in our society. So if you can't beat them, you might as well laugh at them, right? No, I mean, it is kind of poignant, you know, and hopefully we get to a point somewhere in the next 20 years where at least we can fix campaigning and then take care of certain things like election machines and, you know, the voting machines, and just the general influence that money has over campaigning. Because, you know, in our film, there's no way a guy like Zach could ever hope to be a politician without that sort of corporate backing and that big sponsorship. And I don't know, I think that's unfortunate, you know. So hopefully
it's almost as if, like, I would imagine when you was writing it that you would think that you would hope that this wasn't as real as it is, you know. Yeah,
not only that, I mean, just for the sake of the jokes, it was like, gosh, these things are happening. We need to be funnier with our script because it's not as funny as reality. I mean, I keep saying, like, while we were writing, Anthony Weiner, you know, sent out the photos of his anatomy. So,
did playing the role, just playing the character, give you a little bit of sympathy towards these wives that's having to go through this?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely tough. I don't know how they do it, you know? I mean, Michelle Obama, she's obviously a lot more than just the president's wife, but I mean, she never makes a misstep. She's incredible. I don't know how they do it.
How was it playing Will Ferrell's daughter? I mean, you had to keep a straight face a lot of times.
It was amazing. He was nice and funny and sweet, and everything everything else. It was amazing.
I was Karen Maruyama.
Yes.
And you poke a lot of fun at stereotypes in this film by your voice. Where did you? How did you practice these dialects? Did you just look at a whole bunch of old Gone with the Wind movies?
No, here's the thing. I do a show with an actor named Gary Anthony Williams from Boston Legal, and he's from Atlanta. And he helped me because his grandmama, he just was like, this is how you do it. I'm giving you an old Atlanta accent. So I gave him that, you know what I mean? So he helped me out with that. And then the Hispanic stuff, I'm from Chula Vista, I'm from the barrio. So those are all my homies, hanging with the home kids from Chula Vista. So the Hispanic stuff, that's all my friends. And then, Gone with the Wind a little bit, but I know.
I thought it
kind of get away with it, right? Because
I thought it was interesting. I thought it really showed your range as an actress because you was able to. I mean, obviously you have Asian heritage, but you're able to do this.
Do Asian.